And good evening. What a great night for football. The Iron Horses taking their own field tonight. A first time, as we said just moments ago, that Friday Night Rivals travels to this new school here in Berkeley County. Philip Simmons, the Iron Horses, 2-5 on the year, 1-1 in conference play, taking on the Oceanside Collegiate Land Sharks. A perfect 7-0 in region play. Tonight's game, absolutely perfect night for football. Absolutely perfect venue for football. Again, this school opened just 3 years ago, and it is an absolute beauty here, tucked back in the woods of Berkeley County off the Clemens Ferry Road. Our game time temperature brought to you by Roper St. Francis, where experience matters. And I would say, E-Dog, that's a first, 59 degrees.
Exactly. You could not ask for better football weather here in Charleston. A gorgeous night. Hopefully, the play on the field will match the temperatures tonight. Tonight, it's absolutely perfect.
Our Cruise Chevrolet keys to the game.
Yeah, tonight for the Oceanside Land Sharks, as you mentioned, Dean, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you're averaging 47 points a game, giving up just 9 on defense. Just keep doing it. Don't try to confuse it. Just keep up the game plan. For Philip Simmons, we talked about the high-powered offense of Oceanside. You have to keep them off the field. Long, sustained drives. Pick up those third down conversions, run, and run some more. Keep that high-powered offense on the sidelines.
Oceanside's numbers pretty good so far, I would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you're averaging 47, they can throw it, they can run it. Speaking with Chad Greer, the head coach before the game, the biggest offensive line he's ever had in terms of physical size while at Oceanside.
That's Will Ramey taking the kickoff. He's got a hole to the middle, going to cut it to the outside, and he's got plenty of room out there. He gets a block from his running back, Keegan Williams, tries to cut it back. Brought down at the 35-yard line, so a huge return for Oceanside on the opening kickoff.
And if you're Chad Greer, that's the start that you want. Not so for Philip Simmons.
Take a look at that Land Shark offense tonight. Seabuck, Goss, Lee, Castaigne, and Armitage. Chad Greer said it's bigger than his college offensive line he played for at Richmond. Boylston's the tight end. Cooney's the 6'6" quarterback. Keegan Williams makes it all go.
A lot of people, Dean, not even familiar with Oceanside, located really right around the corner from Wandell High School, a school that's up and coming. Chad Greer has done a great job with this program.
We'll start the game off with a short field. Cooney takes a snap. He's going to look back and throw it left. It's going to be a trick play. This ball thrown up way in the air. Keegan Williams is going to stop. And that pass was thrown up by number 1, Joel Osteen. They had Williams coming out of the backfield. That ball falls short. For the Philip Simmons Iron Horses, it's Ramey, Lockwood, Walker, Colin Smith, Moore, Richardson, Harper, Watson, Dreyer, and Denmark. Number 3, he's the key.
And if you're Philip Simmons, you know, Dean, you don't want to lose this game in the first quarter. You want to just try to shorten the game and get to the fourth quarter and give yourself a fighting chance.
Here's Keegan Williams to the outside. First time we've seen him run today with power and with stride. Picks up about 20 yards on the run.
As you mentioned, a young man, but already over 1,000 yards on the ground. He's the guy that's going to carry it 20 plus times a night. And great zone blocking there by the offensive lineman of Oceanside. Really no defenders of Philip Simmons really in sight. If that's the defense that they're going to bring tonight, it's going to be a long night for the Iron Horses.
We got a holding call on Oceanside, so that run will come back.
Dean, look, you talked about Oceanside being undefeated. I mean, these games aren't even close, Dean. They opened the season with a big win against Baptist Hill, 58-12. Then they won at Savannah Christian, 49-7. Their closest game was essentially against their sister school, Greer Collegiate, winning that game 49-42. And then how about this, Dean? Out of their next 4 games, 3 of them were shutouts. St. John's 58-0, Collegiate Academy 14-0. Then they won against North Charleston 61-6, and then last week at Burke, won 42-0.
Big quarterback looking. He's got a wide open man right across the middle. That's Walker Rue. Rue's going to take it down to the 10-yard line. Picks up the first down, plus 10.
Yeah, Denmark on the stop for Philip Simmons. We talked about the size of Sean Cooney, the 6'5", 185-pounder. Plenty of time, clean pocket, and able to deliver the pass to his wide receiver on the play.
30-yard pickup sets up the first down now, just around the 12-yard line. So not a first and goal for Cooney. Keegan Williams behind him. Chad Greer says they don't want to run Keegan too much. Handoff to the left side, gets great blocks. Takes it all the way down, looks to about the 3, just short of the first down.
Nice job that time by Williams, planting that left foot, turning up the field. Didn't want to take it too far out, as we see here. Right there with that plant, saw the hole, exploded through it, and about 4 to 5 purple jerseys there to meet Williams.
Nice job by Kiamani Denmark to come off his play. This is a guy that plays a little bit all over the field. You'll see him rotating around from nickel spot to the safety to the linebacker. Williams going to go back to the left side. That's going to be a walk-in for the touchdown. Barely touched as the Land Sharks get on the board first with 10:34 left.
And that's the early start that Chad Greer wanted. You know, on paper, this is a game, as we take a look at the replay here, Williams just did a nice job of letting the blocks will do what they do and let them set them up and able to get into the end zone untouched. Now the 20th touchdown of the year for Williams.
Started this drive off with a long kickoff return by Fletcher Files. Took him all the way down to the 35-yard line. That kick is up and good. A PAT. They get a quick 7-0 lead. Certainly not the start that Philip Simmons wanted. Eric Bendig, though, very realistic before this game started, said he liked his game plan, knew what they wanted to do. And now it's time for his offense to go out and execute.
And we talked about it in terms of the keys to the game, Dean. Now, if you're Philip Simmons, which you can't really afford to do, is have a ton of 3 and outs. You need to be able to pick up, 2, 3, 4 first downs on every possession, because when you do that, then obviously it keeps that high-powered offense on the sideline. So that was a quick strike for Oceanside. You want to give your defense a chance to maybe kind of regroup, fix whatever the issues were in that opening drive, and now see if you can match the points on the board for Oceanside.
Yep, just a quick 4-play drive for Keegan, his 20th rushing touchdown of the year.
You can't give up those big chunk plays, Dean. You got to hold them to 4 or 5 yards less on each play. You can't allow them to pick up 15 and 20 every time.
Spencer McKinley with the kickoff return right up the middle. That is for number 5 for Philip Simmons. Connor White taken out to about the 38-yard line. Take a look at Philip Simmons. Mickey Walker, keep an eye on Mickey's huge. Followed by Hunter Ramey, Abram Wright, Lockwood Jackson. Peyton Woolridge is the quarterback. Solly Best, really good running back. Jason Bartlett will play fullback, also tight end. Wide receivers, White, Dreyer, and Ramey.
Yeah, Best coming off a solid performance last week for Philip Simmons. Philip Simmons is the player of the week for the Iron Horses.
They're going to want to run it as much as they can. Best to the outside will be able to turn the quarter. Safety number 22, Cooperoo, coming up for the big hit right there. Land Sharks defense, it's Boylston, Dabbawala, Castaigne, Shepard Powell, Arnold, Moylan, Rue. Michael McCoy is the guy who Chad Greer absolutely loves in that secondary. Nickname, just Gilly. Tell you about that in a bit. Loss of 2 on the play. Woolridge back, looks right, throws right, lofts it up. Rhett Powell closes quickly, 3-yard loss.
And if you're Philip Simmons, you really have nothing to lose here, Dean. You're going to have to test that secondary of Oceanside, throw the ball down the field, and at least make them respect the passing game. Not sure if those swing passes are going to work tonight against a very aggressive and fast Oceanside defense.
In this passing situation, keep an eye on the right defensive end, number 11, Joey Boylston, comes in with 25 tackles, 12 for losses, got 5 sacks, leads the team in sacks. Tall, physical player. Woolridge going to the outside, looks to throw it across, going to be short. Is looking for Ben Dreyer. That's going to bring out the punting unit.
That's just a tough throw for Woolridge. Rolling left, having to throw across his body, and that's the last thing that Eric Bendig and his offensive staff wanted, was having a 3 and out on the opening drive.
I did like the idea, though. Give him a little bit of room to move, to maneuver, should I say.
And what you hope is this aggressive defensive Oceanside, they begin to cheat and not play fundamental football, maybe try to catch them sleeping, slide somebody behind them, and come up with a big play or two.
High snap taken in. Short punt to the left side. Fair catch called for. Files going to let it drop. It's going to be spotted at about the 48-yard line. So Oceanside scores on their first, force Philip Simmons on a 3-and-out. It's a 7-0 game. You're watching Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Welcome back to Philip Simmons High School here in Berkeley County. It's a 7-0 game. We got the Rockstar Cheer of the Night coming up a little later, giving you the opportunity to vote for it. You can log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for either of tonight's cheer squads, the Land Sharks or the Iron Horses. Cast a vote for the Rockstar Cheer of the Night results coming up later during our football game. Cooney across the middle, finds Boylston across the middle, down to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 27.
Yeah, Tyler Harper, the linebacker, on the stop. And as we mentioned on the last possession, Dean, those chunk plays, Philip Simmons, they're going to have to give up something, whether it be stop the run and be committed to that, or maybe, take away the pass. But right now, Oceanside averaging almost 20 yards of play.
Again, that first drive helped out by a nice kickoff return. Started at the 35. This one started on their own side of the field, but now have it all the way down to the 25-yard line. Cooney, high snap. Here goes Williams up the middle, skirting and dancing. Gonna have enough for the first down. That's a pickup. Looks like about 11 for Keegan Williams.
Yeah, Harper on the stop once again. I believe that was also Jalen Richardson on the stop for the Iron Horses. And it's a situation being where he's not being touched until he's 5, 6, 7 yards down the field. It's not a formula for success for Philip Simmons.
Cooney back. He's got a receiver across the middle, waits for it to open up, and just lays the ball. What a really perfect throw by Sean Cooney to Walker Rue, and the second touchdown of the night by the Land Sharks.
I got to tell you, Dean, this is my first time seeing Oceanside ever play, whether it be this season or before. And this quarterback here, outstanding Sean Cooney, perfect pass. Man, Chad Greer's had some pretty good quarterbacks in his time here at Oceanside.
Absolutely. Sam Hartman now at Wake Forest.
We had a big week last week. I know Wake Forest ended up losing at home to Louisville, but I know he came in and played well, replacing Jamie Newman.
Field goal PAT up and good. That's Chris Haynes, who's now 41 of 41 on the year.
Yeah, he's had plenty of opportunities, Dean, to attempt extra points, and unfortunately for Philip Simmons, it appears that's the way it's going to be again tonight. As we mentioned, on paper, Oceanside clearly the better football team. Philip Simmons really just in but their second year of existence, Dean, really starting to kind of find their way. So I got the utmost confidence in Eric Bendig and the staff here at Philip Simmons. But quite honestly, Dean, when you're starting from scratch, it's going to take a while to build it.
It was fun talking to Eric Bendig on the phone for a couple of different reasons the other night. But he was saying, starting this program from scratch, there was so much to learn about, you had to order footballs. You had to order tees. You had to order uniforms. He said, I got size XX pants still in boxes waiting for my guys just to grow into them.
And, of course, for those maybe watching at home, saying, well, Oceanside's the same way. A brand-new school starting from scratch. But, unfortunately, for Philip Simmons, they don't have a Sam Hartman or obviously a Sean Cooney coming into their school.
Now, again, Oceanside has been in existence a couple of years longer than Philip Simmons. Philip Simmons in their initial year went 2-8, and now 2-5 on the year. But Oceanside inaugural season in 2016, they went winless. They were 0-8.
Took a lot of beatings, and now the jokes on all those teams that were beating them early on.
They're going to take the ball at the 20-yard line, a little sweep to the outside, maybe pick up a yard.
Joey Bolston, the first Land Shark there on the tackle.
It's Kiamani Denmark, the defensive back, getting that little jet sweep. Very stingy defense, giving up just under 9 points a game.
And when you have athletes with size that can run, that's when you know you got something special, and that's exactly what Oceanside has on that side of the football.
That's Woolridge back. He's going to get a little quarterback draw. He's got some nice speed up front. Going to pick up close to a first down, then knock back. Looks like they'll give him enough to spot him for a first down. Looked like a quarterback draw from the get-go.
Yeah, Peyton Woolridge. That's, you fake the pass. Woolridge wasn't the original starting quarterback. The original starting quarterback actually ended up getting hurt, and Peyton was forced into service. So I know you're going to laugh when I tell you, Dean, but so take a look at the run attempt there. Making a stop for Oceanside was Miles Castaigne. But, yeah, actually,
what do you got?
Family friends with the Woolridge.
You're family friends with the Woolridge?
Yeah. Well, not family, but obviously his older brother, D'Angelo, outstanding football player at Bishop England.
D'Angelo Woolridge?
Exactly, and played for John Caney on those back-to-back state championship teams.
All right.
Well, D'Angelo also was an outstanding basketball player that played for me, so I've known his family for a very long time.
Okay.
So it seems like every week, I know somebody that's playing, which means
I know, you're the mayor.
I'm getting really old there.
Solly Best picks up about 4 on the play, but a yellow flag comes flying in. Most likely be a holding call. Yeah, you had talked about Woolridge not being the original starting quarterback. That was Trip Williams. He was lost the very first game of the year. His freshman year. Last year he got hurt. There's your holding call. And then the first game of the year this year, his sophomore year. But a totally different quarterback than Peyton. This guy, Tripp, is about 6'2", 215, cannon of an arm. And really wants to, the offense changes because they would have thrown the football around quite a bit. Peyton a little bit more of a scrambler, a little bit more athletic. As they look at 2nd and 20, going to be a quick pass to the outside. And what a really, really nice play by number 17. Stepping up is Nick Moylan.
Also, don't forget about Cooper Rue over there. Those guys did a great job of blowing up that missed block and 2 hats on the football. Didn't give those guys a chance. And right now, this Oceanside defense, they're in man press. They're jamming at the line of scrimmage. They have no fear of Philip Simmons throwing the football past them or over their heads. They're being very aggressive, and that's why this Iron Horse offense is having difficulty moving the football.
So third and a whole bunch, call it 22. Woolridge outside of the pocket, going to throw a little slant to the outside, pick up about 8 of the 22 needed. That ball thrown out to number 13, Will Ramey. Got 4 touchdowns, 400 yards on the season. Eric Bendig, of course, was at Wando for quite some time. Said Ramey really does remind him of Rudder Brown, who ended up playing at the Citadel.
Yeah.
Big, strong kid.
Good size. I'm very impressed with Peyton Woolridge, his ability to throw on the run. A lot of those kids at the high school level, they kind of have to stop, get their feet set, but Woolridge able to deliver a strike on the run.
Punt angled off to the left side. Files is going to pick it up there. Going to get out of the tackle of number 33, Tyler Harper. They will start in Land Shark territory.
Caden Mingo also on the stop for the Iron Horses.
Let's head downstairs. And our man on the field tonight, getting his shoes grassy green, Brody Hart.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Okay, so it's Football Friday, but on Saturday we can call it Stars and Stripes Saturday. If you've never been to that place, it's awesome. They got laser tag, they got bowling, they got games, they got an escape room that just opened up like last week. I got Deidre Brannion with me. Now, coming up on the holidays, we're getting there slowly. Special like holiday food menu going on, is that right?
It is. So we have an amazing catering menu, and we also have a holiday catering menu, and it offers appetizers like lobster mac and cheese martinis and Mediterranean wraps, and then for entrees, a couple of them are our action stations, and we have a prime rib action station and a cedar plank salmon action station, and plenty of other food that we offer.
Now, I just mentioned a lot of things that are awesome at Stars and Strikes, but if you got a big group of people, what's the deal with that?
So my favorite package is the Unlimited Fun In, and that's for groups of over 50. It's $25 a person, and you get a 3-hour event of unlimited bowling, laser tag, bumper cars, and arcade, and it includes pizza and soda.
Sounds awesome. Deidre Brannion with Stars and Strikes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now, guys, have any of you been to Stars and Strikes? Have either of you, Dean or Everett, been there?
No, not yet.
Brody,
Okay.
I have because Deidre goes to my church.
But Keegan Williams,
Did we just get a touch?
he
Yeah, we
strikes
just got a
pay
touchdown.
dirt again for the second time in the game, this time from 12 yards out. Maybe you could take Keegan with you when you go this weekend, Brody.
We can take him to the escape room because he just escaped the defense with ease, able to bounce around, great field vision, and able to take it straight to the house. And Williams well on his way to a big night.
Well, some of the things that you'll notice here as they look to go up 21-0. Make that a perfect 42 of 42 on the year by Chris Haynes. Should also come as no surprise that they punted the ball 6 times all year.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you
7
of
games.
those Big 12 leagues where it's just offense, fourth down. Who was the coach, Dino, back in?
The guy that wouldn't punt?
Yeah.
It was a college guy at a small school.
And he figured out that from a percentage standpoint that it would made more sense to go about it. And then, of course, here in the Low Country, Jeff Cruz for a while there.
Yes, he did.
Was determined not to.
By the way, Stars and Strikes, proud to present each participating home school a check for $500. The grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 9 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated more than $100,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations from MyTV Charleston, ABC News 4, and Stars and Strikes. So, yes, Stars and Stripes would be an awesome place to go tomorrow.
Because of the weather.
Because it's going to rain.
That's what Dave Williams
Storm
told me.
Tracker Chief Meteorologist Dave Williams filling us in. It is going to be a soggy Saturday.
Dave is like Simon Says. When Dave says, you know you can take it to the bank.
This ball booted through the end zone. That's
actually what I should have said, Dean, is you could take it to the Synovus bank.
Yes, you can. Spencer McKinley booting it through there. Handles the kickoff duties for Oceanside.
And if you're Philip Simmons, obviously down 21-0, odds aren't stacked in your favor, Dean. the thing that you can do here is just try to better yourself. I mean, kind of almost can take this approach as almost like a controlled scrimmage and work on things that might not help you win the game tonight, but can definitely help you during the rest of this season.
It's Woolridge handing it off in the middle. Going to be stopped immediately. It's number 27, Alex Dabbawala, 5'10", 225-pound senior.
My man Miles Castaigne as well, the 6-foot senior, 265 pounds. And it seems like every week, Dino, there's always that one guy that just kind of catches my eye on the defensive
He's the guy.
line.
He's your guy
this week
today?
It's Miles Castaigne. That's going to be my guy.
Woolridge back, looking, throws it out to the outside, a little high, but brought in. Sets up about a 3rd and 5.
Great break by Skylar Sermon on the stop. And I'm telling you, Woolridge throws a good ball, Dean. When he's got time, gets his feet set, gets it out there in the flat. But, again, not really throwing the ball past the line of scrimmage. It's going to pose problems. And you have to, even if you don't complete the pass, you still have to throw it down the field to keep that secondary honest.
Left side of Philip Simmons' line, 270, 325. Ball tipped at the line, falls down. Could have easily been intercepted. That's Nick Moylan tipping the ball away. But you see the dominance of the Oceanside front 3 and 4.
And not only is it bad to have 3 and outs, Dean, but they're also throwing the football. So, I mean, the clock's not moving. So you think about it, still 3:23 left to go in the first quarter, and Oceanside's about to get the football again.
This will be their 4th possession. Walker Rue back deep. The ball going to be kicked off to the left side. Going to roll slowly out of bounds. Nope. Touchdown at about the 48-yard line, but they will start in Philip Simmons territory. And that has been the other theme on this night.
Yeah, short field, explosive offense. 2 things that Philip Simmons probably didn't sign up for this tonight. But give credit to Oceanside. They knew on paper they were the better team. They've come out and really kind of forced their will on Philip Simmons, trying to take any doubt of Philip Simmons actually being able to pull off the upset. They've come out and dominated from the jump. And looking to go up 4 touchdowns here in the first quarter.
Got a 3 receivers split. Keegan Williams in the backfield. Philip Simmons plays a 3-3 stack defense, moves a lot of guys around. Cooney back. Cooney waits, get a little pressure on the backside, throws it a little high, but oh my goodness, what a nice catch by Ori Malachi. Or Malachi Ori, should I say.
Yeah.
Heard that name before?
I did. He's a former player of mine as well. Played with your son as well, Dean, but Malachi Ori showing his hops here, going up and snagging it out of the air. Great athleticism, great catch by Malachi, and once again, Oceanside in striking range.
17-yard completion. Cooney racking up some early numbers here.
I have really produced some good football players from the basketball
I guess
court.
the bigger question to ask is why aren't they still playing basketball
Exactly.
as William takes it inside. And you really see what Chad Greer sees in this guy, and everybody that I've talked to that's seen Keegan play points out that he moves so smoothly. It's like, and seeing him down on the field, he is thick, big legs, but he's got great balance. And Chad said he sees the field well, cuts really well, but again, it's almost effortless as he picks up 6 on that play.
You'd have to think if he were maybe 3, 4, 5 inches taller, he definitely would be a high major prospect. That would probably be the only negative, if there is one, against him, just his lack of size.
Well, he did say Wake Forest is looking at him. West Virginia is looking at him.
And we've seen some small kind of scat back wide receiver or running backs over the time. You know, you think about the great Ward Dunn, in his time in the NFL and obviously at Florida State, not the biggest of back, but if you have that type of field vision, and you can avoid contact and use your speed, then that kind of negates what you lack in terms of physical height.
5'9", 175. Cooney back, absolutely no pressure, stands in the pocket. Incomplete over the head of number 13, that's Fletcher Files.
You know, the one thing that I do like about Williams is he does a nice job of not taking that direct hit. He's just a smart football player. And we probably won't see it tonight in terms of him having to use his blazing speed.
4th and 2. They're going to go for it. They're going to hand off to Williams. Got a huge hold of the left side. Cups it out the middle. It's going to be his 3rd touchdown on the night. This one from 23 yards out.
I mean, that's just too easy. And he does such a great job of just turning it up the field, planting that foot, being explosive through the hole right there, as you see, and great blocking by the offensive line, the wide receivers. I don't think Williams has been touched all night long tonight.
Boylston with a nice seal-off block to finish off that touchdown. So Williams, again, with his 3rd touchdown. This one from 23. His first one was from 4. Second one was from 11. This one from 23, and make it a 28-0 game now, the Land Sharks.
Very impressive, as you mentioned, Dean, our first time getting a look at Oceanside. And I know, Dean, next week, Friday Night Rivals will be at Fort Dorchester, as we'll have Ashley Ridge at Fort Dorchester. But, man, the game of the week might be Oceanside against Timberland. We saw Timberland earlier this year. Art Craig, oh boy, that will be a good game, a good test for both teams next week.
Timberland beat them 34-14 last year. But you go back 2016 when they started, they were 0-8. And ironically, they were giving up 49 points a game, scoring just 8 points a game, which is almost identical to what they're doing this year, 3 years later. Chad Greer gets hired in 2017. They go 7-3. And then in 2018, last year, they went 8-3. But they really were. He pointed to the game against Savannah Christian this year, and he really felt like after that game he knew what he was to expect from this team this year.
If I'm not mistaken, Dean, Savannah Christian beat them pretty handedly last year.
McKinley's kickoff going to be taken by Denmark. He's going to try to turn the corner at the 15, not going to make it. Nice tackle there by number 25. That's Michael McCoy. Right, so Savannah Christian beats them 54-14 last year. 54-14. They come back this year, and they beat them 22-6. Is that right?
No, 49-7 is
49-7
at Savannah Christian.
There you go.
So yeah, you're right, Dean. What a year turnaround. I remember actually Coach Greer tweeting about that. What a difference a year makes.
They're going to try to go inside, pick up about 3. That's exactly how they need to be attacking this Oceanside defense, is run it up the middle, pick up some yardage.
Nick Mullen on the stop, 5'10" senior linebacker for Oceanside.
But he said after that game he knew that this team was going to be a little different. He knew he had something pretty special right here. 3 receivers set for Woolridge. He's going to give it back to Solly Best. He's going to meet a lot of white jerseys. May pick up a yard.
Got a roll call at the football. As on every single play, you're seeing 4 or 5 Oceanside defenders around the football.
Solly came in this year with nearly 500 yards rushing. As we finish off the first quarter here, Oceanside, 4 possessions, 4 turnovers. Their defense pretty impressive. Stars and Strikes, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. 28-0 game right now for Oceanside Collegiate. This Friday Night Rivals season, we're proud to continue to spread the love with the Synovus PB&J Blitz, benefiting the Low Country Food Bank. The local high school that donates the most jars of peanut butter and jelly wins. Synovus will give $100 to the winning school each week and $2,500 to the overall champion at the end of the season, with half going to the school and the other half to the Low Country Food Bank. Synovus is proud to help tackle right here in the Low Country. Tackle hunger in the Low Country. As Oceanside picks up an interception, that's Michael McCoy, or Gilly, as they like to call him. What happened here, E?
Looked like a tip drill. Wide receiver not able to come down with it. Great concentration by McCoy. Being in the right place at the right time results in giving the ball back to that high-powered offense.
So again, great field position this time.
Cooney probably looking for the kill here after the turnover. If it's me, I throw it to the end zone on the first play. You got them on their heels.
He's going to roll right. He's got a couple of options. He's going to wait, finally deliver it to Walker Rue. Rue's taking it down to the 10, slung out of bounds by number 25, Javier Collins Mitchell. A flag is thrown on the play. I think that was Tyler Harper.
Yep, that was Harper on the tackle. Dean very impressed with Cooney. You saw that he could have thrown it sooner, but he allowed the play to develop, allowed his wide receiver an opportunity to get some separation, and then kind of flung it out there. Great throw by Cooney. David Benahaley, our official tonight. Looks like they're calling a horse collar, Dean, as you'll see right here. So he gets out. He could throw it there. No, I'll wait, extend it, then throw it once he gets past the linebacker. A horse collar. Is that a horse collar?
No.
Yeah,
it was a jersey collar. Looks like he got him up around the pads and dragged him down. They're going to spot it half distance to the goal line. Give it to Williams. He's got a wall of blockers. Going to walk right in for his 4th touchdown of the night. This one from 5 yards out. Keegan Williams continues to dominate.
It's easy to see why the kid's got 23 touchdowns if he gets these types of holes every single game. Again, I don't even think they're going to have to wash his jersey tonight, Dean. He has not been touched. Williams putting on a show tonight.
So Williams from 5 yards out, 2 plays after that interception by Michael McCoy. Chris Haynes remains perfect on the year. Make that 44 out of 44. And again, I think that may be the most impressive stat I've seen all night.
In high school, that is. You know, that's almost the equivalent of being a field goal kicker for, Alabama, or in terms of the attempts, being able to kick that many extra points. But, yeah, when you look at their scoring throughout the year, Dean, I mean, they've scored 58, 49, 49, 58, 61, 42, and it all started with the interception from the defense. I guess the real question, Dean, is whoever the defensive coordinator for Legion Collegiate Academy and Rock Hill, that guy needs to get a raise because he held this high-powered Oceanside offense to just 14 points. Granted, it was in a loss, but I can't imagine being able to hold down Cooney and Williams and the rest of the gang to just 14 points.
Legion Academy, one of Oceanside Collegiate's sister schools.
Gotcha.
Along with Gray Collegiate. The ball's going to bound into the end zone. They'll take it out at the 20-yard line. Spencer McKinley got quite the leg on him.
I was about to say, that's pretty good to reach the end zone on the kickoffs. This Oceanside athletic department, Dean, really developing nicely, having some success. Only in a lot of athletics. I believe the baseball team made it to the state championship.
They did under Jerry Stutz.
The men's basketball program under Quentin Hollis had a nice little run. I believe they made it to the lower state finals last year. So good things happen. I believe the girls soccer team also won the state championship. Just good things going on at Oceanside.
Woolridge back and hand it off inside.
That's a big back. I couldn't tell who it was.
I don't believe it was Solly. Wait for that number to come up. Is that number
23, maybe, Dino?
25? 25, Javier Collins Smith.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with him because he looks like he's about 6'2", 225. So, yeah, that absolutely was Colin Smith. And talk about ball control. You can give the ball to him 3 straight times. He's bound to get 10 yards.
He's got 3 touchdowns on the year. They're going to go right back to him. Flag comes in. That is big number 50. Your man.
That's my guy.
You might as well say it.
Miles Castaigne just being very disruptive and blowing plays up in the backfield.
Synovus has been a great partner. Has been done some great work with us here. Brody Hart will send it down to him in just a moment.
I think the call was holding Dean on William Gauss, the sophomore offensive lineman. So that will back them up further is Chad Greer. And probably rightfully so, Dean. You know, you don't think this offensive unit of Philip Simmons can move the football against your offense, so you back them up, get a couple more stops, and make them punt it away and hopefully get outstanding field position once again.
Coach Bendig said for sure he could not play behind the chains, and that's what they've done 3 out of their first 5 drives now. This is about 2nd and 14. Woolridge looks, throws it to the outside, off the mark a little bit, falls incomplete.
Pass intended for Will Ramey. 6'1", 180. It's a nice 5-yard curl pattern, and unfortunately, Woolridge not able to deliver it on target. And that will force every coach's nightmare on offense, 3rd down and long.
Peyton Woolridge, quarterback, looking. Going to go outside, little screen underneath. Got some room to run. The safety's closed quickly, though. Really nice job. That's number 14, Grace Sobel, coming up from his defensive back position, putting the hit.
Also Jordan Jackson on the stop for the Land Sharks. And that just goes to show you, Dean, the team speed of Oceanside. Looked like that screen play was going to go for big yardage, and out of nowhere came about 5 black helmets there to minimize the gain. Unless the booming punt comes off of the foot of the punter. Once again, Oceanside is going to start in
ball
great field
fumbled
position.
around a little bit. Sobel is going to block, and it's going to be picked off in the air. So a muff fumble here, or muff snap, is going to lead to more prime real estate for that Oceanside offense. And that is number 7 coming up with the ball out of midair. That's Rhett Powell.
Yeah, he didn't pick it up. He was trying to pick it up and look for the pressure. Also tried to pick it up with one hand and just could not quite corral the football. So back on the field comes this Land Shark offense led by the quarterback Sean Cooney. Let's see, Dean, they go to the top 101.
Starting at the 21-yard line. Williams is in motion. Going to be, looks like he's going to be offsides. Maybe the left guard jumped, which would be, I think, the first penalty we've seen on Oceanside today.
Probably a favor for Philip Simmons because they had a linebacker, Will Ramey, spread out wide on Keegan Williams. So anytime you can get a running back on a linebacker, advantage to the running back. And that's exactly what Chad Greer was trying to do on that particular play.
Yeah, the field position game has been wildly in favor of Oceanside. This one started on the 21. Last drive was a 31-49 midfield on the drive before that. 4 wide receivers out.
We got a single high safety, so plenty of options here. Look for the toss sweep or to give right there. I'm about to say to Williams.
Yeah, he's going to cut it to the outside. And I think that you have said it all, Everett. Not touched again, this time from 21 yards out. and his 5th touchdown of the game, Keegan Williams.
Yeah, you could see either the toss sweep or just the cutback as he did here. As you take a look at the replay, great field vision, kind of got the defender on his heels with the quick stutter step. And then Williams able to race down the sideline and into the end zone, and the Land Sharks take another bite out of the Iron Horse defense.
Well, you see Frankie Mansfield has covered this team quite a bit and has talked quite a bit about Keegan Williams, not understanding why college has not picked up on this young man, and now I know exactly what he's talking about. Let's go downstairs, and our man Bertie Hart got some guests with him.
Hey, Dean. So I've got Kelly King on my left. I got William Quantz on my right. They're both with Synovus Bank. We're going to start with Williams. So tell me a little bit about Synovus Bank. What does Synovus kind of do in and around the community?
So Synovus Bank, we're the bank of here. We're proud to serve communities across the Southeast where we operate, and tonight we're especially proud to be here in Charleston with the support of the fine supporters of these great schools, Philip Simmons and Oceanside, who did a tremendous job raising over 14,000 pounds of peanut butter and jelly to give to the Low Country Food Bank.
A lot of peanut butter and jelly. We're kind of talking about the PB&J Blitz, so I'm going to come over to Kelly now. All right, Kelly. Why is this important for high schools to kind of be a part of the PB&J Blitz?
Well, I think it's important because it does create friendly competition between the schools, and what an amazing way to give back to the community.
All right, so giving back. Speaking of, we're going to bring in a big check here. We got one of the assistant principals here. You guys take this. Guys, I think we got some numbers. And we got the Low Country Food Bank in there on the far right as well. Dean and Everett, you'll have some specific numbers, right, on the PB&J Blitz this week?
Simmons collected 12,117 pounds. 2,300 pounds for Oceanside. I'm going to say that again. 12,117 pounds of peanut butter.
That is an insane amount of peanut butter. All right, I want to come over here real quick before we go. For the Low Country Food Bank, this is a big deal too. What does it mean to Low Country Food Bank?
You know, protein is one of those things that is in high demand for us, and peanut butter and jelly is one of those incredibly versatile things, you know, and it's so important for us to be able to distribute it to those who need it.
And I forgot to ask you your name. Tell me your name real quick.
Brenda Shaw.
Okay, Brenda, and that's something you're always asking for at the Low Country Food Bank, PB&Js, right?
PB&J, you know, any type of protein. It is such a highly needed thing.
Brenda, thank you.
I'm sorry?
I said thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Guys.
I tell you who's been eating some peanut butter.
Thanks, Brody. Appreciate that. You want to take this one on?
Javier Colin Smith. That man's got proteins, and he just literally drugged almost the entire Oceanside defense for that pickup of about, looks like 7 yards.
Good for him. Right, and this is where you get to the point of the game and you're going to find out the character of your players, the character of your team. You've given up.
Also, Mickey Walker pulling him, trying to get his teammate a first down.
Looks like they will spot him just at about the 30-yard line. Should be a first down. Colin Smith taking care of the first down on 2 plays.
James DeVoe, the first Land Shark there, to make contact. If I'm not mistaken, Dean, is that the first down of the night for?
No, they had one earlier. They had a Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine first down back in the first quarter. Haven't been able to say that a lot because Oceanside, I was taking a look at these numbers.
Defense is being stingy tonight. As it
well, they scored on 1 play, 2 play, 5 plays, 2 plays, 4 plays, 4 plays.
Also, a new quarterback in the game for Philip Simmons.
Yep, going to throw it across the middle. Going to be intercepted. A really nice pick by Gray Sobel.
Wow. Nice, strong arm by Tripp Williams, the sophomore, 6'2", 215.
So that was Tripp was a quarterback that was hurt early on. So he comes in to see his first bit of action. Throws it a little high. Sobel with the interception. The second turnover of the game for that Oceanside defense.
Just a swarming defense by the Land Sharks. Tipped the ball right to themselves. Great job of just, getting a hand on it, Dean. And even if you can't catch it cleanly initially, you just simply give yourself a chance on the rebound, and that's exactly what happened there with Mr. Sobel.
And again, field position. Taking it over at the 30-yard line. Sean Cooney, 6'5", 185, thrown for 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Going to hand it off to Williams. Williams scoots to the outside. He's got the line again, and he's got the pylon, and he's got another touchdown. His 6th of the game.
Finally, he got dirty because he fell at the end of the run. But it's something about that right side of the line, Dean. He continues to go right every time, and, well, that's a sweet spot for him. And, again, the vision. Just untouched, great blocking. You have to give credit, Dean, to the offensive line, because to have those types of holes and that opening and to literally be untouched, that says a lot about the offensive line and his teammates. They're doing a great job for Mr. Williams.
And another PAT slices through the uprights. And now a 49-0 lead for Oceanside. Stars and Strikes, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, takes us to a break. Welcome back to Philip Simmons. Iron Horses looking for something good here in the first half with 8 minutes left in the quarter. Oceanside's offense showcasing what Chad Greer says, the offensive line bigger than he had that blocked for him in college, and a running back who should be playing college football in a year, Keegan Williams. It's 6 touchdowns on the night for Williams. This ball's going to be short, going to be picked up by and dropped a little early as Connor White, the sophomore, out at about the 27-yard line.
Looks like Blaine Throckmorton Jr. on the stop. I'm going to go out on the limb, Dino, and say that Bryce Throckmorton is his brother. 80 and 81.
Yes.
Blaine and Bryce.
Oceanside has 10 sets of brothers. 3 are twins. And Philip Simmons has a few as well. Williams back now in quarterback. The sophomore going to hang it up the middle to your guy. Going to move that pile again another 2 or 3 feet. It's Javier Collins Smith.
And it seems like every time on first down, Dean, he's doing a great job of getting, 5 or 6 yards on first down. And then it seems as the Oceanside defense will make an adjustment. And those next 4 yards are very hard to come by.
Absolutely.
There's Chad Greer, the father of Will Greer, the backup quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Was in the Heisman running for a while there, Dean, when he was at West Virginia.
Yep, now with the Panthers.
Yep, started his career out at Florida.
Williams going to go back to the hole, back to the middle this time. May pick up a yard on the play, if that.
Is that Harper running the football?
Yep. Tyler Harper says, give me a run at it.
Those holes just close up so fast. It's the big guy in the middle, Nate Maluski. There you go, Maluski, the 6'1", 285-pound senior defensive lineman. Like, what do these kids eat? I guess they're eating peanut butter and jelly, Dean.
They're eating peanut butter and jelly.
These some big ones we're seeing throughout the course of this Friday night rival
There's
season.
a quick arm, but again, it's going to be called incomplete. Nice play on the ball. Going to be 4th down.
And that's Carson Arnold. This cat, he's a sophomore, Dean. He's 6'2", 210, number 9 for Oceanside. So Coach Greer was correct. He's got some size up there at Oceanside.
They've got some numbers as well. They bring some of their JV guys with them, but they have got a full roster and a good complement of players. That punt's going to hang out to the left, going to bounce down, go out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. I was talking to Coach Bendig this week. He had said, I flagged down on the play. He said, I taught your son Jack at Wando. Now, he hadn't been to Wando in 5 years, so I was like, wow. And he said, do you want me to make you feel really old? And I said, well, some days I do, but go ahead.
Give it a shot.
Now,
as we look at
Eric graduated at Wando in 02. He said, when I was a sophomore and you were doing sports, I came over and shadowed you for Shadow Day. I was a sophomore in high school. It took me to the Stingrays game, which was probably an illegal car ride, most likely. So I would have liked to have honestly shared with him that I remember that night.
Correct.
But I don't. But he does, so it must have been a positive experience, right?
There's a lot of people in this facility tonight that you've had you kind of touched their careers. Even back to your color guy who back in the 90s did
when
an
did
internship.
You graduate?
92.
You graduated Wando in 92.
Yeah, so I did an internship for old Dino. And
we need to you know what? One day you need to come back. You need to come over to the station when you got a day to spend. Oceanside starts to drive at the 25-yard line. Cooney back. He's going to throw it out to Williams. Looks like a hold on the outside on Rory's not called.
Boy.
There's Keegan Williams just gliding down the sideline. He's going to get a push from Boylston. Boylston's going to a flag is going to be called there at about the 15 when it probably should have been called. Oh, there was called down at the 40-yard line. So this play is going to come back.
So now Williams showing that he can not only run the football, but he can catch it out of the backfield. This time, instead of the right sideline, he'll go down the left sideline, and honestly didn't even really need the block in the back. He probably could have made it on his own. Great cutback there again, and able to glide into the end zone, but all for naught, as Dean mentioned, a block in the back.
When we say glide, that's exactly what it is, isn't it?
See, I'm almost wondering, and again, without ever seeing him play other than tonight, surely he's faster than that, but it's almost those situations where, well, I don't really need to run fast tonight because I'm kind of like in cruise motion,
Well, he's got the backstory here is he moved here he lives in Somerville, and so he sat out his freshman year. His sophomore year, he played basketball.
Right.
And then his junior year, he came out for the football team. So really, this is like his second year playing in high school. He didn't play the first 2 games his junior year. And then his first game he played, I think he scored 6 touchdowns maybe?
That could be.
In the very first one?
Well, as they always say, the best football players usually play other sports, specifically basketball, because, I mean, if you're an athlete, Get them in space and let them go to work.
It's going to be Walkeroo on the outside from Cooney to pick up another 15. So
Tyler Harper on the stop for the Iron Horses.
Some of the early records against Gray Collegiate in 2018, he carried the ball 34 times. This year he rushed for 237 against Gray Collegiate.
Also Will Ramey on a slight. Will Make sure he gets his props as well. That's a ton of yardage, Dean. I don't care what level of football that is. That's a lot of rushing yards.
This one thrown to the outside, going to be taken down to the 48-yard line. That's Bryce Throckmorton out of the 48.
5'6", 141 pounds, a little old guy, but out there just making plays. Nice job of switching the ball into the outside hand, and good job by the Iron Horses, led by Denmark. Kiamani on the stop for Philip Simmons.
So the longest touchdown run that Keegan's had was 68 yards against Philip Simmons. That was last year. They had a 91 kickoff return. That was versus Gray this year. Last year he rushed for 1,063 yards, which he certainly topped that tonight. As they take the ball to the 48, they're going to hand it back into him. He's got a big block on the outside. He's going to follow his guy all the way down the field. Big number 78, Dylan Seabuck, 6'5", 305, grading the road in front of him.
How about Malachi Ori with the block from his wide receiver position, the counter play. So we'll see right there. Here's the block right there by Malachi. Great job of locking up Harper. And once again, Denmark making a tackle well into the secondary of Philip Simmons.
So a 26-yard gain now for Williams. I want to go down to the sidelines. We have our David Ayler Law Office Educator Spotlight with Brody.
What's going on, guys? I've got Principal Anthony Dixon with Philip Simmons High School. Now, we have the newest high school in the Low Country, the Philip Simmons High School. So how's that going? We're growing the school, student body's getting bigger. How's everything going with that?
Yeah, this is our third year in existence, and we have a student body of about 550, but we have a very growing community, and we added a senior class this year, so we're excited about just watching this high school develop and watching the community unfold as the high school develops.
Yeah, now what's going on in the school right now?
Well, right now, a lot of excitement as our third year starts or has begun. With new clubs, we have our first graduating class. That's major.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And so we're ready to graduate our first class and send them out into either college or career workforce. And we're also building new athletic programs. We're starting some new teams coming up, so that's going to be exciting in the spring.
Well, I mean, the area here is just growing so much, this part of the Low Country. I think you're so well positioned where you guys are, where the school is, to do some big things going forward.
Yes. Yeah, right. I mean, I've been in this area for a while in terms of just being a principal at Cane Hoy Elementary Middle and Philip Simmons Middle, and now at the high school. And so to watch it develop has been amazing, and it's going to just blossom and continue to grow.
Anthony Dixon, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, he is the principal of Philip Simmons High School, guys.
Keegan Williams' 7th touchdown of the night, called back. We'll start this drive now at the, or pick up the play at the 11-yard line.
And I guess the one thing I'm interested in
delay a game, so back-to-back penalties here.
See Sean Cooney. I've seen him on a couple of times throw the football, but obviously when you have a rushing attack like what they have at Oceanside, not necessarily a lot of passing needed.
Well, he's got some good numbers. He transferred over. He was at a school in Atlanta. He's thrown for 1,500 yards, about a 60% completion rate. He's got Keegan Williams to the left. That's where he's going to go. Williams going to take it down, probably the shortest gain of the night, 2 yards.
Harper once again on the stop. Also Connor White. You can tell the high IQ of Cooney on that swing pass. He threw it in front of Williams. Instead of throwing it behind him, he threw it in front and kind of led him up the field. And Williams once again showing that he can catch the football out of the backfield.
So he comes over here. Greer said he's going to hate to lose him because his dad's the best statistician he's ever had. Second and goal now. Williams from the inside gets some great blocking up front, take it down to about the 4-yard line. But again, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Chad said his biggest growth has really been in the weight room. He had 6'5", 185. He said he's just starting to lift weights, get a little bit bigger. And when that happens, your confidence grows. Said he's got great football IQ. He's developed some thick skin, which, you know, when your head coach is the quarterback coach, you better have it, right?
Right. And the one thing you can't teach is size. I mean, either you have it or you don't. And as a quarterback, to be 6'5", to be able to see over the offense and defensive line of scrimmage and have a high IQ, match that with a big, strong arm, ton of potential for Cooney.
Second goal, Cooney back. He's got a man down across the middle. That's going to be a touchdown. Walker Rue in the back of the end zone. You wanted to see how he threw a football? There you go. From about 26 yards out, back of the end zone. And that's another score, make it 55-0.
That's another star and strike there, because that was a strike to the back of the end zone. Arm strength, able to put it right on his receiver. I asked for it, and he delivered.
Answered, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So that's his second touchdown of the night, second to Rue. First one came at 7:53 in the first quarter. Now with just under a minute and a half left, it's a 56-0 game. You know, and they start to now get into that position where you go into the second half, the same kind of luxury that Fort Dorchester has.
Yeah, I mean, you think from a smaller, on the smaller classification side, Oceanside, we talked about their big game next week against Timberland, but other than that, I'm not sure who else could pose a challenge for these teams without having seen any of the other teams in the lower state or upper state.
Well, you also get the luxury now of the third quarter starting to play some of your younger guys. They start to get a little bit of experience. And, you know, that is why he doesn't like to, you know, run Keegan Williams more than 15 times a game, because he doesn't have to.
You have to think in the second half, whether it be Tiger Tyson or Garrison Kepley, we'll see one of those two take over at quarterback and allow your starters, like you said, Dean, to get a little bit of rest. They've done their job for tonight, and they can turn their attention and focus to the showdown with Timberland next week.
I think it'll be Kepley was getting most of the throws before the game. This kickoff's going to be taken now at the 10-yard line. Again, special team coverage been sensational tonight by Oceanside.
And that game next week, Dean, supposed to be at Oceanside. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Oceanside, they play their football games at Park West.
They do play their games at Park West.
I'm assuming Timberland will travel well. That'll be a hard ticket to get next Friday night.
It'll be a hold. We'll back up the Iron Horses now. Yeah, it'll be an excellent game, and I think a great test and a great gauge to see, you know, how far this Oceanside team has come, you know, in a year. We had Timberland a couple of weeks ago, and they are skilled on both sides of the ball. They are big on both sides of the ball. They are fast on both sides of the ball, much like what we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a match of athleticism, and both teams will want to get their athletes in space. And I'd have to think, if I'm Mark Craig, you know what, I'm going to have to stop Williams and press my luck against the passing game.
Picking up about a yard or two on the play.
Just one of those tough nights. Philip Simmons probably somewhat expected. They knew they would have to play an A-plus game. And Oceanside probably would have to play a C or less, and they'd have to force some turnovers, win the field position battle, go on long, sustained drives. And, well, Philip Simmons, they've not done any of those here in the first half.
And listen, it was for and is for the Iron Horses and for Eric Bendig a big deal to be on TV tonight as they go back to the run. Solly Best back inside. He's got some nice moves to the outside, clear the corner at the 20, down to the 30-yard line and pushed out of bounds. It'll be marked at about the 28.
Yeah, I believe that
but it was a big deal for them to be on TV tonight. And, you know, regardless of the score of the game, you know, they're not going to stop working.
No, absolutely not.
They busted all week long. but I think it's also, you go back to where Oceanside was 4 years ago when they were getting beat up pretty good.
And if you're Eric Bendig and the staff, you look at this tape, this is kind of like a measuring stick for you. So now you know where you're trying to get to and what it's going to take. And you just kind of, learn from this and try to improve and get better each and every week.
Best tries to find a hole inside, but it collapses. That's James DeVoe, 6'3", 250-pound sophomore. It's a nice backup to have if you have one.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at the size of Oceanside. A good-looking football team.
And they will let the clock run out. Bendig tosses his headset to an assistant coach. He'll run it in. Wait to see if we get an interview here with Chad Greer. He is on the other side of the field of Brody Hart. And he is heading that way. We'll see how they attack the second half here. And I would imagine it'll be a conservative play. He's seen all he needs to see out of his quarterback. We talked a lot about John Cooney tonight. Got Division II and Division III schools looking at him. Chad Greer believes he's got the ability and the talent, the frame and the future to play at a little bit of a higher level.
And really all facets, Dean. Offense, defense, special teams, in the three areas this Oceanside team excelled in the first half.
All right, let's go down. Chad Greer now, standing by with Brody Hart. Brody?
Coach, 56-0. There's a lot to like about that.
I'm really happy with the way the kids played. I mean, they prepared to come play clean. They did. I mean, other than the very end there, a few penalties, but played clean, played hard, played fast, physical, things that we try to pride ourselves, and they did a good job of. Execution was good, so yeah, a lot to be happy with.
What do you say to your team at halftime now to get something out of the second half at this point?
Well, we're obviously going to make a lot of personnel changes, and it's a good opportunity for guys that work hard all week, all spring, all summer, all winter. I mean, you name it, they work too. So it's a chance for them to come in and play, get some reps, and we talk about making it about us. I mean, make sure that we're doing what we need to do to continue to grow and get better as a program.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, guys.
All right, Brody, thanks so much. As we go to the half, another one of our team members wants a part of this show. Trooper Bob in the Low Country Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Bob? Back to the Roper St. Francis halftime show. We understand that your health and those you love matter most. At Roper St. Francis, experience matters.
All right, David Ayler has upgraded from the schmedium shirt to a beautiful custom suit. This is what we want you representing people in the courtroom wearing. This looks good for tonight, which is cold weather. This is good.
When you play Guns N' Roses, I wear a suit. That's what happens.
You and Axel both. There you go. All right, David Ayler and the Ayler Law Firm, of course, sponsor our Scholar Athlete each week, and then at the end of the year, again, you are here. 2 new schools. Maybe we get a new Athlete of the Week from a new school this year.
Absolutely. This is such a beautiful, I don't know if they can span, but like such a beautiful campus here, such a beautiful school, and it's just neat to see, as you particularly understand, all these great students coming into these different schools, having more options, and the amount of students that we have that we're looking at, and I'm going to make you actually be involved this year.
That sounds good.
You can't get any better than this. This is the perfect age. You have to invest. You got to invest in the youth, and these kids, amongst other different sports that are not on TV, that are doing so many great things for themselves and the community.
Cool thing about these schools, they have programs that aren't seen at other schools. Oceanside, they go to school online. They come out with like 60 college credits. It's pretty amazing. Is it really cool for you at the end of the year to watch those videos and just see what these kids are accomplishing?
As you and I have discussed in the past, off the camera, we didn't even know a 5.0 GPA existed. We were hoping for a 2.5, right?
I graduated magna cum barely. Yeah.
So yes, and not just the grades though. The community resources that they use, the community outreach that they have through their churches, through different nonprofits and everything else. You're talking about a lot of well-rounded individuals that are a lot more, prepared and ready to go to the next level than, so many other young people are, and they need to be rewarded for that.
David Ayler from the Ayler Law Office is doing surely doing a job for our community that needs to be done and putting these kids on the right path. We'll see our Scholar Athletes of the Week and then our Scholar Athlete of the Year at the end of the season. The finest man dressed well on Clemens Ferry Road. David, thanks so much. See you again next week.
Absolutely.
All right. Send it back up to you guys.
David, each week, David Ayler Law Office is proud to highlight a Scholar Athlete from each participating school. The students selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. That's Joey Boylston, a 4.69 GPA, football, heading to play lacrosse at Utah. Volunteers at the Children's Festival Book Drive, and that's Mickey Walker from Philip Simmons, a 5.07 GPA, active member in his church and youth groups, completed many community service projects for the football program as well as his church and school activities. Congratulations to both Joey Boylston and Mickey Walker. Stars and Stripes, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Back after this. Welcome to the Roper St. Francis Halftime Show. We understand that your health and those you love matter most. At Roper St. Francis, experience matters. And fans, we're giving you an opportunity to vote for tonight's Rockstar Cheer of the Night. Log on to abcnews4.com all night long. Trophies and plaques by RKO Total Graphics. We give this trophy out every night, thanks to RKO for taking part in tonight's game.
It's that time that everybody waits for. Highlights from around the country, Dino.
Steubenville.
There you go.
That's
Looking
Ohio.
Like Superman. Just tiptoeing. Get off of me.
Stop it.
Doing the 360 and getting to the end zone. Does he get in? Yes.
Well, he says he did.
I mean, is that Mathis Ferry? That's not over in Mount Pleasant, is
No.
it? Okay, I'm just checking.
That's Ohio.
Tiptoeing down the sideline. Looking like Keegan Williams there.
I think it is.
River, hey, this is South Carolina, but it's not us. It's the Dutch Fork Silver Foxes. Wide open at the 15-10. I mean, come on. If that can
Wide
make
open.
it, Dino, how come we can't make
Oh,
it?
we just did.
We made it. We made it finally. Wide open to Tip Drill.
Hamu to DJ Matthews.
What a weekend from Charleston, South Kakalaka. How about go down to Pensacola? It's a bomb, and it's picked off. Nice over-the-catch, over-the-shoulder interception.
Very nice. Well done.
Man, concentration and all. Where are we now? Mobile, Alabama?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, goodness.
Look at this big fella
Oh, look
go.
at the big guy rumble. I mean, he is about
I want you to find this
take it
guy.
to the house.
Theodore and McGill, find this guy. He's got to be committed to Alabama.
He looks like a Bama running back for sure.
Johnstown.
Whoa, not the OBJ one-hand catch. We need to see a replay of
Down
that
in
one.
Texas, where everything's bigger.
Just everything's
Oh, he had it in his hand.
bigger. Did he get it? Oh, come on. You got to finish the play on his
he did.
back. He makes the catch.
He finished the play.
And that's from
That's
our,
a first, right?
We made it. I feel accomplished in my life as we made it, Dino.
You're watching the Roper St. Francis Halftime Show. We're back after this. Welcome back to the Roper St. Francis Halftime Show. We understand that your health and those you love matter the most. At Roper St. Francis, experience matters. Now we're giving you an opportunity to vote for tonight's Rockstar Cheer of the Night. You can log on to abcnews4.com, poll, vote for either of tonight's cheer squads. Take a look.
Say Sharks, ready? When we say Sharks, yell, let's go! Sharks, let's go! When we say Sharks, yell, let's fight! Sharks!
cast a vote for the Rockstar Cheer of the Night. abcnews4.com/poll. We'll have the results later in our broadcast. When we come back, second half. We'll go back to Philip Simmons. Go downstairs with Brody Hart. Stand by with Coach Eric Bending.
Coach Bending, I know Herc's looking at the scoreboard right now. What did you talk about with your team at halftime?
I just told him we got to come out and keep fighting. I told him that it starts with me. We got out coached. They have some good players, some good coaches, and I told him we just got to keep fighting, chop it away at a little bit at the score there, and see who's going to fight, see who's going to run and hide from, or see who's just going to run right at it. And hopefully we got some guys that are going to come out and fight.
You told me you have 13 seniors. You talked to them about some senior leadership at this point.
Yeah, we definitely want to be a player-driven and lead team. But right now, I think we'll take leadership from anybody right now. But I told the leaders that they need to realize that we're on the decline of how much games we have left. So ultimately, it's on them to make sure that they're fighting for their brothers and they're fighting for the legacy of this program and their legacy.
Yeah, thanks, Coach Bennett.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Good luck. All right, see ya.
Thank you.
Yep, guys. Yep.
All right, Brody, thanks so much. Take a look at some of these scores. Goose Creek over Wando right now by 18. Berkeley easily handling James Island, Somerville over West Ashley, Stratford, Cane Bay. You want to handle the next page?
Yeah, how about this? Look at that halftime score. Stahl leading Fort Dorchester 30-29. We thought Fort Dorchester was unbeatable, that defense being so stingy, but they've given up 30 points to Joe Bessinger, who happens to be a former Wando Warrior as well, leading the Stahl Warriors. Could possibly pull off the upset.
Your mom taught him in Sunday school and church, I'm sure.
No, not that far. But he was a high school teammate of mine. Joe Bessinger, leading the charge for Stahl.
All right, so Oceanside's going to kick off here. It's going to be taken now at the 5-yard line. It's going to be taken straight up the middle by Denmark. Going to take it all the way out to the 38-yard line.
And, we talked about it. Dino's the situation, as Coach Bendig just said, don't worry about the scoreboard. Don't play the scoreboard. Just pretend like it's 0-0. Go out, try to win every play, and just carry that momentum going on for the rest of the season. So here's a great opportunity. Coach Greer alluded to the fact that he was going to obviously get some of the younger guys in, just get some momentum, get a couple of touchdowns on the board from a defensive standpoint, maybe try to force them to punt once or twice, and just find some positives here in the second half.
Woolridge back, taking the snaps. Gonna hand it off inside at best. It's been a tough place to move furniture up the middle on this Oceanside defense.
Yeah, so stingy up in the middle. Miles Castaigne as well as Nick Mullen leading the charge for this Oceanside defense. And just tough sledding tonight for these guys. Just trying to get anything going has been difficult for Philip Simmons.
Looks like most of the starters are on defense, so maybe we'll see some of those personnel changes on the offensive side of the ball. Carson Arnold, number 9, right in the middle. Your man Castaigne, number 50. It's Alex Dabbawala, 5'10", 225. Woolridge, junior quarterback. Gonna roll right, get a nice block from Bessie. He's gonna pick up, get it back to the line of scrimmage, eluding a few land sharks along the way.
Nice spin move by Woolridge. Joey Bolston on the stop. You know, and if you're a senior player for Oceanside, Dean, you want to get as many positive plays as you can, you know, on film. I'm sure some of these guys have aspirations of playing at the next level, so the more you can have on film of you running to the football, pursuing the football, and not, you know, obviously taking it easy despite being up 56-0, that's what college coaches sometimes look for. Guys that are going to play hard regardless of the situation.
3rd and 8 now. No flag. Woolridge back's going to dump it off underneath. Just a few yards past the line of scrimmage. Pick up 2. Set up 4th and 5, and the punting unit will come out.
Jason Bartlett, the outlet, with the catch on the stop for Oceanside. Michael McCoy, we've said his name several times tonight, the 5'7" senior, leading the charge in the secondary. And at this point, if you're Eric Bendig and the coaching staff, you just want some positives, just something that you can kind of harp on.
This ball goes straight up in the air, bounces all the way back, and it'll be fielded at the 48-yard line. It's a net gain of maybe about 12 yards on the play. Let's see how they come out and look here for this first drive. But I love that philosophy. I love what he said to Brody Hart. You know, they're second-team guys who've come to all the practices as well. They're second-team guys who worked out in the summer. Second-team guys who work just as hard.
And you still want to run your offense. You still want to execute because you're always just a twist ankle or injury away from being forced into competition.
Garrison Kepley going to take over quarterback duties now. Got a quick running back in the backfield. Going to pick up 2. It's number 34, Henry Dew.
Keyshawn Lockwood, the senior, on the stop for Philip Simmons. How about Keyshawn? I mean, he eats peanut butter and jelly. This kid, 6'3", 325 pounds, number 71, as you see him right there in the middle of your screen. He's had about 1 or 2 peanut butter jellies on a hot summer before the game for pregame meal for a snack. But you love his pursuit to the football as well, having that, being blessed with that much size and still being able to run and try to make plays.
Going to find Dew. There's going to be a flag behind the play. Dew's going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. It's going to be a roughing the passer call, I believe.
And you don't want it to get sloppy here, Dean, with a bunch of penalties. You talked about a lot of guys who may not get as much playing time, finally getting some playing time. Still want them to just play clean.
I don't know if you would see Carter Ensley come in there and got helmet-to-helmet contact and then plants Kepley after he'd released the ball. So tack on another 15. It was a nice play by Kepley to do.
You know, and he's the future after this year when Cooney leaves. He's a 6-foot sophomore quarterback, so it's a valuable experience for him.
So Kepley's going to start at the 25 now. Dew in the backfield, going to take it out right. Nice play on the outside, not able to wrap up as Denmark. Pick up 5 for Dew.
Jalen Richardson there to finish him off and knock him out of bounds. You know, so often, Dean, you see teams sometimes, you know, play down if they're playing an opponent that may not be at their level. But you can't say that about Oceanside tonight. They came out, they jumped on them early. Didn't see any penalties, any turnovers. And as a coach in Chad Greer, that's exactly what you want to see, especially, being this late into the season.
Joel Osteen in motion. Ball's going to be handed off. That's number 2, King Deloney. Also a senior getting some run here on 2nd and 7.
Good stiff arm at the end of the play. The zone give.
Love to see Lockwood working hard, running down that play from the backside, and that's what Bendig's looking for. He's looking for those guys who are going to continue to give that 100% even when you're down 56-0.
Dean, the big noticeable difference between the two in most cases is just the size. I mean, look at Philip Simmons. Those guys who just have to get bigger and stronger and faster. And Eric Bendig's a good coach. Give him a couple years, he'll have this team right.
Kepley rolls out. It's going to be thrown right on the money. That's to Joel Osteen. He's going to take it into a pylon that's already on the ground. Now both of them are. They're going to call him down to the 1-yard line. What a throw by Kepley.
Yeah, Osteen tried to say a prayer to get into the end zone, but he came up a yard short. Great bootleg here. Able to put it right on the money. Osteen down the sideline, made that diving attempt, but couldn't quite get in the end zone.
Right past the fingertips of Colin Smith. I really think that R.J. Watson was surprised to see him there. He had no idea that play was coming to him.
It's a great fake executed by Kepley. Now we'll look to cap it off from short distance.
It's going to be a quarterback sneak. Going to get some help for the backside. And he does. And that's a touchdown for Garrison Kepley with a nice drive by the sophomore quarterback.
That's got to give him confidence should anything happen. Kepley able to lead his offense down the field. And as we mentioned, you want to continue running your offense. And that's exactly what Oceanside did. Seemed like they didn't even miss a beat. So look for their 63rd point of the night.
And another PAT right down the middle. Stars and Stripes Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Back after this. Welcome back to Philip Simmons High School, the Iron Horses. Their second year of football here in Region 6-2A. Oceanside has put together a pretty spectacular year. Will improve to 8-0 and then head into their game in the region championship on the line against Timberland. That'll be next weekend. I believe it's in Mount Pleasant.
Yes, it does say Ocean is the home school.
Chris Haynes getting the workout, kicking off. This ball's going to be taken in the middle. It's going to be met. And a nice tackle inside. That is Rhett Powell, sophomore linebacker. We called his name a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, 5'9", 185, introducing himself to Philip Simmons. Perfect, picture-perfect tackle. Grabbed him in the back, head up. That's how you tackle a football player.
You like that technique?
Exactly, perfect technique. As they say in the music world,
yes.
You may not know this because I don't think we listen to the same type of music.
You don't know that.
Don't sweat the technique, man. I mean, that's just
you don't know that.
Okay.
You don't know what I listen to,
Yeah, that's
and I
true.
don't know what you listen to. You look like a Kenny Rogers,
I'm more
Tim
of
McGraw kind of guy. First
that's
and 10
a good
from the
one,
24, quick pass to the outside. Going to be tipped to the line of scrimmage. Going to be called incomplete.
I'm an old R&B guy, Dean. I'm
You are?
45.
You're R&B?
Yeah, I'm not much with the gangster rap, and I'm more of the new edition, Michael Jackson, Prince era.
That's R&B?
Well,
You think Michael Jackson's R&B?
Well, no, I mean, I'm just trying to give you. I'm saying R&B and those types of artists, just to kind of give you an idea of what you may find on E-Dog's
Feeling
Spotify
a bit insulted
playlist
right now. 2nd and 10. Best in the inside, absolutely nowhere to go. Been that way since the kickoff.
And you have to figure if you're Oceanside, you want a shutout. I'm sure they're talking about it. I mentioned it earlier, Dean. 4 out of their last 5 games, actually 3 of their last 4 games have been shutouts. So I'm sure they want to have another shutout going into the showdown with Timberland. Make sure they're clicking on all cylinders.
Got a little conversation going on here between a DB and a wide receiver. I'm not sure who started the conversation, but it's continuing. 3rd and long here. Going to get a little bit of time to throw the ball, and he does, just outside the reach. That is number 13, Will Ramey.
That's great sportsmanship there by Nick Mullen, helping out the opponent. Just a tough night for Philip Simmons.
We're asking about a running clock. I know normally after the half it's got to be, I think it was 48 the last time we had one of these. But it's also got to be agreed upon by the 2 coaches pregame, so that may not have been the case today.
Gotcha.
Punt's going to go left. It's going to be fielded.
Oh, boy.
And Walker Rue is on the move, and he's got room. He's got 1 guy to beat. He's got 2 guys to beat, and that's a touchdown. Walker Rue, 2 flags on the field. This play will come back.
That's normally what happens when you reverse the field. Got a flag at the 40 and also one at the 44-yard line. That'll be the 2nd time tonight, Dino, we've seen a touchdown negated by a penalty flag. Chad Greer obviously not pleased.
We talked a little bit about this on TV. Oceanside head coach Nate Green, football coach at Oceanside. He's an administrator also at Oceanside Collegiate. Nate battled cancer last fall, thought he had beaten it, and recently he felt lumps in his neck, had been diagnosed with mantle cell lymphoma. He's going to need some help in the coming months with medical bills, living expensive. What we do know about him is he is a fighter, and you can help him fight this as well. Scotty's done a couple of stories with him. So if you feel inclined, any donations to this GoFundMe page, Nate Strong, GoFundMe, would be greatly appreciated by the entire Oceanside family.
Well
and
respected.
by Nate Green as well.
Well respected, Dean, loved by the students and the players at Oceanside, and I was kind of fitting that we're in October and there's so much attention on breast cancer, but at the end of the day, cancer is cancer. It's an ugly disease, one that unfortunately affects a lot of humans, and yeah, anything that you can do to help him or anybody really with cancer would always be greatly appreciated.
And that is Nate Strong. And that is Henry Dew, junior running back, picking up about 5 on the play.
It's these guys' time to shine as well. They're running just as hard as the starters. Fortunately for them, Dean, they've gotten a lot of playing time this year, looking at some of these scores that Oceanside has put up. So, when you're in those situations and you know you're going to play, gives you a little bit of more motivation on Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Knowing that you're going to get your chance on Friday nights, especially when you're on TV on Friday Night Rivals.
2nd and 5. Dew's going to take it back inside. Nice block to the outside. Going to be taken down just past the first down marker.
You can see why Tyler Harper has almost 200 tackles in his career. He's still playing hard. There's no quit in him.
All right, we still got time to vote for our Rockstar Cheer of the Night. Log on to abcnews4.com/poll to vote for either the Land Sharks or the Iron Horses. We'll have results coming up in the 4th quarter for you. Fresh set of linemen in now. On the offensive side of the ball as they look at first down. It's Garrison Kepley. Going to hand it off to number 8. That's Malachi Ori. Turning the corner. Look at Malachi go down and then push down. Was that Jordan Jackson?
Yeah, it looks
Jordan
like it's Jordan Jackson, yeah.
And a flag coming in late. Jordan Jackson getting a nice run.
I was just impressed by Dylan Seabuck, number 78 of Oceanside. You take a look at the replay. Watch my big guy Seabuck. He's out of the picture, but he was just there he is. Just ran the guy over. Seabuck, Dean, he's kind of one of the smaller offensive linemen. He's only 6'5", 305 pounds. If we can get the camera guys, Dean, to get a shot of 76 and 78. So 76 is Jacob Ashley.
Yeah.
He's a sophomore. He's only 6'5", 315. And then you got his homeboy, down the way from him.
I think you were looking at Ashley. I think Seabuck is out.
There you go.
I think it was 70. Shane Mahoney is on the outside. As they're going to look left now, there's going to be room to run now for a new running back. A flag down to the 10-yard line. Lamar Prelo. He is not going to score a touchdown in this play.
Third one tonight. You're right, Dean.
So you got 64. That's Jackson Lynch. He's 6'1", 245. 67, Zach Champagne. He's 5'10", 250 as his play comes back. And Shane Mahoney, 6'1", 220.
Yeah, but my man Jacob Ashley. I mean, come on, Dean. How are you 15 years old? 6'5", 315 pounds. A man-child up there blocking for Oceanside.
And you know what's crazy about him?
He's got 2 more years.
He doesn't start.
Exactly. I mean, this is probably the biggest offensive line potentially in Charleston. That's including Charleston Southern and the Citadel. These are some big boys up front, Dino. The Hogs. Leading the way.
Will Goss, a sophomore, also in 6', 260. Want to make sure all the guys up front get some love from us tonight. Kepley going inside to Dew. Dew with a nice run. Another flag coming down here at about the 12, 14-yard line.
Tackle made like it was R.J. Watson for Philip Simmons.
Now, I'll tell you this. I mean, we're talking about some sophomores. Let me bring your attention to a couple freshmen. Monroe Freeling, 6'6", 230, not in the game. You'll see him probably in the 4th. Maybe a better defensive lineman than an offensive lineman. The training staff coming on here.
And of course, you got.
And there was another freshman I saw down there.
Marcus Adams, he's 6'4", 220.
Yeah. You better call your boy Q over there at the basketball program and say, man, I got a pretty good front line for you here.
Actually, I think I saw Coach Hollis on one of the shots over there, probably looking for a post player or two. Get some rebounds. Yeah, you talk about a job going on over at Oceanside. You got freshmen, sophomores, junior. The future is very bright for Oceanside.
Later tonight, tune into ABC News 4 at 11 o'clock for Friday Night Rivals for a complete rundown of the scores from all around the low country. That is Scotty Eisberg, Greg Brzezowski, the new guy in town, warming up to everybody. You have a complete wrap-up of the best local high school football games across the low country. That has been the case since 1990.
Yeah, back in your days. I talked to Scotty before the game tonight. Greg might be pulling a double dip tomorrow. South Carolina State game got moved up to 10:30.
That's R.J. Watson, by the way, going out. He looked at by the sports medicine orthopedic guys. Looks like it's a left arm hand injury. Yeah, I don't know if Greg's going to be shooting much football tomorrow in the rain.
Yeah, but potentially stopping Orangeburg on his way up to Williams-Brice for the big South Carolina-Florida game.
Kepley back. He looks right. He's got room. Throws it up the middle. What a really nice pass brought in by Osteen. It was a little high, but Osteen goes in with nice hands to pick up about 10 yards. Still make it 2nd and 12.
They do such a great job of their route running and getting in the middle of those zones, just kind of sitting down, and obviously the quarterback Kepley able to find his receivers. I mean, how many times do you think Olstein's been asked if his dad's the preacher?
I don't know. I will tell you this, though. When I was doing my pregame talks, I did not ask that question.
Well,
King Deloney split out left. Kepley looks that way. He's got a wide open man in the end zone. That's Joel Osteen.
There you go.
So the Kepley keeper for a touchdown, and then the Kepley to Osteen connection for another one.
Kind of like that ball just kind of fell out of the sky right into the hands of Osteen. I don't know if that was a great route ran or what, but that was a tough throw by Kepley, and he put it right on the money as Osteen hauls it in.
Well, when I was watching the quarterbacks warm up, the thing I noticed, good sportsmanship helping the guys up. New kicker, that's Ben Plesha, getting a chance to boot one, make it 70-0. But what I noticed is that Garrison threw just an equally as good ball as Cooney did. We got another guy down on the field. I believe that's Will Rainey.
It's been one of those tough nights for the Iron Horses. But again, somewhat expected when you're this young.
Well, the thing, the interesting part about these two programs is that, I believe that's Ramey coming up shaking off a leg injury, is both of them are fairly new, right? Second year here for Eric Bending. And then Chad Greer, his third year, fourth year for the program. All right, so both programs went through those early growing pains. Both programs went through, where do we order cleats from? Did anybody order mouth guards? Did anybody pick up a kicking tee? There's going to be limitations to what Eric Bending has to work with.
Right.
His district is pretty small over here. It's a Daniel Island. It's a Cainhoy. These are kids who were zoned to go to Hanahan, most of them. I don't think they picked up any Timberland kids. I could be wrong, though. But when you have these charter schools, and this is a big debate, and it's been conversations go on, some nice conversations, some not nice conversations. But the entire area is open to Oceanside.
Right. I mean, talk about
that kick goes to Kiamani Denmark. Denmark going to take it up the middle, looks for a hole, finds a little seam up to the 30-yard line. And I'll just be very clear here. I don't sit either way on the fence. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't believe for a minute, and that's just me, I don't think that Chad Greer goes out and recruits players. I think this is an option for families and for mothers and fathers and sons to make a decision. Is this way of schooling, is this way of preparing for high school athletics, is this for you?
And if I'm not mistaken, Dean, I think these kids go to school for 4 hours. And then
there's a new quarterback in.
Finish the rest online.
Trick Williams.
But it is a commitment. I mean, you talk about Keegan Williams, arguably the best player, him and Cooney on the team. Well, Williams lives, what you said earlier, lives in Somerville. So it's a commitment for him every day.
That's obviously
down. Exactly. So it's not easy for him or any other kid that has to drive or get to, Oceanside. So at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you and your family.
And I'm going to tell you something else about a commitment is Chad was telling me he's got 14 coaches. They're going to hand it off the middle. Big tackle there. That's number 9, Carson Arnold. Called his name a few times today. I think they got 14 coaches on staff. 3 of those coaches are actually employed by Oceanside. They're teachers, right? Or administrators.
Right.
So the 11 other guys are volunteers.
Right.
These are guys who have other jobs. But these are guys who want to get into the coaching profession. They see the success that Coach Greer had up in Charlotte. And this is how they want to start their career out.
That right there, shrugging his shoulder, that's Devon Brown, who's a former standout at James Allen, also went on to star at Coastal Carolina, one of the better returners in the country when he played at Coastal Carolina.
Jason Bartlett can't keep his hand on that ball. You see the arm strength of Trip Williams. This is a kid that Eric Bending said is going to have a choice to make. He's a standout baseball player. And will have an option to play either sport in college, Bending believes. So, there have been good articles written about the charter programs. It started first with Gray. Same company owns them. Snap is a little high. Brought in. Sobel doesn't block it. Oceanside's going to clear out. The ball's going to be dropped and touched about the 43-yard line.
And for a while there, Dean Gray was like the basketball powerhouse in Columbia. I mean, they were basically handling everybody. That's the end of the third quarter.
We're back. 70-0 Oceanside over Philip Simmons. Welcome back, everybody. Philip Simmons High School here in Berkeley County. Absolutely beautiful location. We look back on this night and say, man, it was a 70-0 game. And we'll say, yeah, the guys in purple were on TV. They played hard. And 3 or 4 years down the road, you have no idea what they'll be, what kind of impact they'll have in 2A football.
A hidden gem off of, this is the Clements Ferry.
Yep. So back to that, back to that conversation again. As Dude takes it to the outside. I think that there's controversy here. It's whether or not these charter schools, privately owned, should they be classified as part of a high school, as part of the high school league?
Yeah, I believe the maximum capacity of Oceanside is 600, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he said they would never have more than 750 people, maybe. Big number 30, taking it all the way down. That's Tyrell Manigault. You got to know a Manigault.
Well, they're all over Mount Pleasant. The one I played with was Kevin Manigault. But yeah, they're all over. They're all over Mount Pleasant for sure. It's kind of hard not to walk down the street and not run into a Manigault. It's look like we have the new quarterback in, the freshman, Tiger Tyson, 5'10", the 160-pounder.
I asked him, Coach Greer, what brought him down here. And I was honest with him. I said, I heard about him and heard about his programs up there. This Manigault's going to take it inside, going to be stopped about the 5. I said, I thought maybe, because I knew they were coming down here and they didn't have much. They didn't have a place to play.
Still don't have
a place to play. Like, not at the stadium.
Right.
Play at Park West. I thought, maybe you knew where, Uncle Curly's gold was buried here in Mount Pleasant. But he said straight up that he has a very strong faith, that his boys were grown and gone, and it was a place in his life that he loved Charleston. He prayed about it every day. His Manigault's going to be taken down at 2.
Hey, my man.
And just asked.
Harper's still making tackles.
I'm telling you, playing hard. And had an opportunity to come down, and the guy that was involved in this program called him and said nothing looked right about the program, nothing seemed right about the program. The trajectory didn't seem to be right, but he just felt called to come here.
Just a challenge, and some coaches are motivated by challenges. They don't want the easy way.
Play. He was on the bottom of that pile.
Manigault comes up short. And yeah, Dean, also it helped in this first year. He I don't want to say brought his quarterback, but the quarterback, Sam Hartman, who was with him in North Carolina, came and transferred here. So having a guy that was familiar kind of kickstarted his tenure here at Oceanside.
I think that was Ben Dreyer coming off the bottom of that pile, made a great tackle, playing hard as they line up in 4th and goal and going for it. And while I don't agree with this,
taking a
knee at that, I do agree with. Classy move. So they'll give the ball back with 8:50 left. So it just affirmed to him where he was really supposed to be. Again, loved living here. Said it's a family center-oriented place. The one thing that he's seen that, he started from sub-0 and now he's posting a 70 spot. We're back after this. Crew Chevrolet drive of the game. Whatever it is, it didn't take long. That has been the summary all night long. An interception turns into a Sean Cooney pass to Walker-Roo. Actually down at the 10-yard line, excuse me. And that will set up Keegan Williams. I think the total on the night for Keegan was 6 touchdowns. Rooney to Roo connected twice. And Garrison Kepley has provided 2 touchdowns. A 1-yard touchdown run and then a pass to Joel Osteen. But Cruz Chevrolet and Rivers, you get a friend of the car business.
You know, Dean, you mentioned that usually has to be agreed upon before the game for between the coaches to have a running clock. And I'm just trying to envision how does that's got to be an awkward conversation. Like, how do you go up to the opposing coach and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if we get up big, you want to do a running clock? You know,
right.
It's just kind of, it's one of the position I would not want to be in.
Well, I know, and I think it was last year when Hammond visited Porter Goud and we had that game.
Right.
And Hammond had the Jordan Birch kid, and they had Muschamp's kid, and they had another stud,
right.
5-star guy that's not going to Clemson either.
I mean,
I don't know
you
where
can't
he's
get
going.
them all, you know.
I know. You don't have so many 5 stars at the table. There's your man Javier turning the outside, running hard.
But I guess you never know, Dean, because if you'd asked me at 6 o'clock, if there was a game that I would say, hey, it could get out of hand early.
It's not this one.
I would say Somerville, or I would say Fort Dorchester install. And Fort Dorchester was trailing at the half, 30 to 29. So that's, as they say, that's why you play the game, because you never know what's going to happen.
Goose Creek leading Wando, by the way, right now 35-10. Really, really impressed with the job that Jason Winstead has done. That was a big game for Wando tonight, beating Stratford last week.
And a big game for Goose Creek, not a letdown after having such a big win over Berkeley last week.
I don't know if we've seen a Fort Dorchester score. We can check that quickly.
Let's see if we can. He's got notification from our.
Say again. I had like. So 31-30 Fort Dorchester apparently after a safety. Is that third? Must be.
Got to be third.
Still third quarter.
Let's see if we can follow it on Twitter. I'm sure Mr. Eisberg can fill us in.
Trip Williams back at quarterback now. Man in motion. Going to hang it off up the middle. Going to be stopped after about a yard. It's Javier Collins Smith. Got a good run tonight.
This is one that Coach Bendick and his staff, maybe afterwards you just kind of have a ceremony out back, kind of bury the tape and say, you know what?
Yeah.
That's past us. We're moving on and try to finish strong.
Yes. If they still use tape, Everett. But anyway, I knew where you were going with it. I know where you're going with it. And that's the thing. Bendick was telling me, it's like, we had to start with the basics with this guy. Javier back inside, running 2 or 3 guys, taking him with him. And he's been moving the pile like this all night long.
He has. It's a hoss.
That's a first down, a Low Country Orthopedic and Sports Medicine first down, by the way.
He's got that Alabama size of their tailbacks.
Our Will Gray, never stop learning, stop of the game.
Old tip drill.
Tip drill. And a nice pick on the backside.
At the next level, we'll be yelling Oski and running down the sideline.
Will Gray, never stop learning, stop of the game. They're going to go back up the middle.
Just punishing people. Just bowling them over. Give it to the big guy.
Good for him.
You know you're a bad man when you got a hyphenated last name. Colin Smith. And you're 6'2",
Look at him.
225.
Just keep giving it to him. Give it to him again.
Just feed the horse.
Marcus Adams, freshman in, 59. That is Tim Castaigne, one of the brotherly pairs. See, so you got brotherly love on that side, man.
There you go.
It's Avery Scott, defensive lineman on the backside. Javier Smith waits and waits. Tries to move the pile forward. And I'll tell you that we got out here, I was probably here around 4:30 today, and Oceanside had just started to walk on the field with their shorts, t-shirt, going through some light drill work, but they were working all the way up until game time tonight.
It's showing. They came in and they took care of business.
3rd and 4 now, 4 minutes on the clock. You go back inside. You have a new running back in the game. That's number 29. Unspecified on the stat sheet. Don't have that.
It was a nice run, needless to say. Still trying to get an update.
4th and 2 now. They're going to go ahead and go for it. Trip Williams. He's got help to his left. 3 receivers. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know who's going to win the cheer of the night. That's a completion and a first down. Zip. Number 41, Jason Bartlett. Not to be confused with the president on the West Wing. Rockstar cheer of the night, Philip Simmons, and they should be. They have not stopped cheering all night long.
Supporting breast cancer with the pink pom-poms and pink bowls in their hair. We got a little Iron Horse there telling people to get up and cheer. That's a first down, Low Country Orthopedic first down for the Iron Horses.
Small student section there is, cheering heartily. Gonna go back inside, hard running, number 29.
Mac Davis, another running back.
Say Nigel Mac Davis?
Yes, he
did. I
did.
hear that right?
I think he did. He must have plays on the JV because he's not on the varsity roster.
2:30. And they are pushing for that touchdown.
Really would like to see that after such a tough night, to be able to cap it off with a run. It would be nice.
There he goes on the inside. Stopped.
I don't know if they need to run the inside, but they probably should run
Our
behind.
getaway, Stars and Strikes getaway and play of the game. Cooney to the air, across, through, touchdown.
Catching it out.
Throws a good ball.
Great composure, sits in the pocket, steps into his throws. Nice strike from Cooney to Rue. So in today's episode of, just going to comment on Anthony Jackson, but let's talk about our player of the game, Dean.
U.S. Marine Corps player of the game. Who else? Number 5, who finishes with 6 sevens. That'd be 6 touchdowns.
Right. The words of LeBron James back in the day.
Not 1.
Not 2. Not 3. Not 4. Not 5. But 6 touchdowns for our Marines player of the game, Keegan Williams.
4 yards, 11 yards, 23 yards, 5 yards, 21 yards, and 21 yards. And again, those were like short plays. That was 1-play drive, 2-play drives, 4-play drives. But again, it'll be interesting
talk about
next
throwback.
week of how things happen.
Look at the hairstyle by Keegan Williams. I mean,
You
talk
like,
about
what do you
me.
call that? You call that
a high flat top. Almost like the kid and play look, but Keegan's got a little substance to it. You know, it's not like straight up in the air. So I'm telling you, Dean, for him to be a senior, you know, this guy's worked hard to get that hair like that. I mean, he goes to the barbershop, you just get it taken down on the sides, but don't touch the top. He's growing it out.
Don't touch the flats.
That's right.
Ooh. Young running back holding his right arm, right elbow.
He's running hard, Mr. Davis.
Get an opportunity. Picked up 3 carries here. That offense goes back on the field, and you know with 2:09 left what they want. They want to take that goose egg off the board. Next week, Oceanside against Timberland. Philip Simmons will drop to 2 and 6. Nice move by Javier. He's got to get to the outside. But there's Monroe Freeling ripping up his ankles. Number 77, also a freshman.
So 73, Marcus Adams. the other freshman, 6'4", 220. You see that frame, imagine once Chad Greer and his staff can get those guys in the weight room and had about 15 to 20 pounds of muscle. We're talking about some grown men up there blocking for Oceanside.
Philip Simmons hosting Burke next weekend.
And that's a winnable game. That's a game, if you're Eric Bendig, you can't allow this Oceanside game to beat you twice. Put it on the back of your minds, refocus, and get ready to play Burke next week.
That's right. 2nd and 15 now. A little sweep. Doesn't fool many. In fact, fools no one. As Jordan Jackson coming up.
Jackson had to run on the previous possession and now playing a little defense. As you mentioned, Dean, he fooled no one there. Great
Connor
pursuit.
White hobbling a little bit. See Javier Collins-Smith hobbling a bit as well. As Kiamani Denmark comes in the game. So under a minute to play. Not sure if they're going to be able, got 10 seconds on the clock. But the way that this rush has been, it didn't matter who's wearing the jersey. They're going to go ahead and call a timeout here with 29 seconds left.
And again, in that situation, you say, why call a timeout? You're down 70-0. But think about it this way. Next week against Burke, it could be a one-possession game.
Right.
You may need to pick up a first down or keep a drive going. That's why you continue coaching. These are just teachable moments for Eric Bendig and his staff.
Yep, absolutely. So Chad Greer, obviously excited with what he saw in the first half. Had a small stretch where there were 2 or 3 penalties towards the end of the half. Got a little sloppy. But you look at their schedule and you look at what they're looking at, and all year long pointed to that showdown with Timberland. Timberland has set the standard in that region for a long time. And great respect between Art Craig and Chad Greer. Javier's going to take it over the middle, take it down about the 40-yard line. 22 seconds left on the clock. Not sure if they're going to try to get another play off, just launch it deep. They're not. They're going to let this clock run out as they line up their players at the 50-yard line. So Keegan Williams shows everybody what they're missing at the next level. Oceanside prepares for a showdown against Timberland. While the Iron Horses lick their wounds, they play hard tonight, and they try to finish off the season with a win next week against the Burke Bulldogs. But I cannot say enough about this Philip Simmons High School and the complex and what they've done out here in Berkeley County. And as this region grows, and this area grows, so too will this football team and this football program. They've got the right man in charge of this thing.
Just growing pains. He's got to be patient, let Bendig do what he does, and brighter days are ahead. But for Oceanside, Dino, offense, check, defense, check, special teams, check, size, check, speed, whatever they need, they have.
quick and to the point, an efficient night of football for the Oceanside Collegiate Land Sharks. Let's go downstairs and Brittany Hart.
Hey guys, well first of all, we got number 5, Keegan Williams, is the U.S. Marine Corps player of the game tonight. But Coach, I want to talk to you real quick. It's a big win, a lot of points on the board. How you feel about it?
Great. Thought the boys played really well. Our focus a bit about us and playing clean, playing fast, physical. I thought we did all that. I was really proud. Another shutout for the defense. Our Coach Jackson and staff have done a great job. Offensively, I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage. Sean took care of the ball. Keegan obviously just was Keegan. And if there's anybody out there watching that's got a scholarship offer for D1 running back, he's right there. Great job, baby.
Well, how do you take this momentum? You got Timberland High School next week. Take this, prepare for them.
Timberland is the standard around here. I mean, for years and years, Art and what they've done there, they win every year. They're a great program, a great team. They're who we want to be. So for us, like Ric Flair says, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. So it's on us to show up next week. It's on us. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Coach, well, with that, this is the Stars and Strikes Championship Trophy right here. There you go.
All right. Great job.
Man. Anytime we can get a Ric Flair quote in our show, woo! I don't care if it's 7-0 or 7-7. Thanks to all of our sponsors for making Friday Night Rivals possible. Next week's game, we've got Ashley Ridge trying to juggle some balls against Fort Dorchester. Tonight's final score 7-0. Later tonight, tune into ABC News 4 at 11 for Friday Night Rivals for a complete rundown of the scores from around the Low Country. See you next week on Stars and Stripes, Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet.